Hey everybody, it's Roger and John here from Local SEO Search. In this segment, we wanted to talk about the media that everyone knows in terms of radio. And we want to talk about radio from the standpoint of, as a business person looking to get your message out to the buying public or to let people know about your company. What does radio offer? There's lots of pros, there's a few cons to it. We'll talk about both, but we'd like to really educate in terms of what it means to be on radio, what it can do for your business. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, the time and day of when you want to advertise, which segments, which station, there's a lot of things to consider when you're looking at doing some radio advertising. So in terms of, what kind of radio stations do you listen to, Roger?
Mm-hmm. I have probably 7 because there's presets in the car. So when I'm driving, I'll listen between the news site for listening for weather and traffic. Sometimes it's just too stressful, so I want the quiet, so I go for more of the classical stations. And then there's other ones with the classical music or classic rock genre from, old guy music, let's put it that way.
And myself, I actually listen to a lot of Spotify, so I don't even want to listen to advertisements. Or I now download a lot of podcasts and listen to podcasts live. So that's my, radio listening habits. But definitely when I'm driving, I do listen to content on, music or whatnot.
And the pros for radio are, of course, getting immediacy. You get your message out there. Typically, you'll see something, but there's a special sale, an event, or something that is brand new that's just being brought to market. Whether you're a large national business or a local business, depending on your budget or depending on what your market is, how far you want to get your message out there, you'll use radio and you'll do your buy based on the sort of the geographic targets you're going after.
So first, you have to, the cost of putting together a radio campaign. So different stations will have different purchase costs, depending on what regions it would cover. And they know based on the reach, right? And because if you drive to the cottage or out of certain markets, that radio station will no longer be available for you. Right? Unless you're streaming it online, FM radio, and there's different stations and portals that you can actually listen to any radio station across the world. But typically people are just listening on the radio when they're driving, and whatever it gets picked up, that's what you're going to be listening to. So depending on when you want to purchase. So during rush hour, morning or evening, that's probably the most expensive purchases and buys, because you're going to get a lot of engaged drivers listening.
Yes.
And they're going to be stuck in traffic, and the commute time is longer than ever today, especially if you're driving on the highway 401 to and from work. So you have to remember when you want to hit your target market, and when to put that ad on. So there's timing is very important. So you can actually have it tied into after a weather segment, or after a sports segment, or after a news segment, or actually after any song. So that's important to consider as well.
And that all ties into the pricing. So if you've got a budget, and everyone's got a maximum budget they're allowed to spend or can spend, you as a businessman or business person, you'll be offered, okay, you've got X number of dollars to spend. We'll give you this many spots. It'll be spread out over time. So if you say, all I want is the drive time in the morning and the afternoon, it will cost tremendously more than if you let them put your message on in the middle of the night. And there are people driving around in the middle of the night, but you just know that in terms of the reach, it's way down, but it's way less expensive. So you'll kind of go, all right, so I'll get some coverage during rush hour, but because I can't afford, the high prices, I'll have to have my message be listened to or put out there in the airwaves late in the evening or overnight. So that's really a drawback, so to speak, in terms of getting the best return on your investment.
And then you have to consider what the message is when you're coming up with the content on that station. So how long are you going to be talking? Is it going to be yourself or a professional? So you have to hire a, someone that's going to be broadcasting that message. And what is the intent for them when they listen to that message, right? So if you're offering something of value, or you're giving something away, or if there's some special promo that you want people to attend to, that might be a great way to send that message across the air through the radio, because you're going to be hitting a lot of people and a huge audience, so that they may sway to, say you have an event on the weekend and you want people to attend it because, it hits the target market of that radio station, right?
It's called live on location. You'll hear that many times. Come visit us at so-and-so's tire depot. Every third tire is free, that sort of thing. So it's really a call to action, and come visit them at that site, and they'll do actual live shows.
The challenge for small, medium-sized businesses, you probably aren't doing a lot of live events, right? You're probably offering a lot of the services that are very competitive with all the other companies that are nearby. So does radio make sense for you as a business owner? Does the cost make sense? It makes sense for a large brand because they want to hit as many people as possible with a message that may entail a new product or a new offering for them. Or say McDonald's has a $1 a cup coffee deal for a week, right? And I hear that quite often. So radio does work. There's a lot of pros to it. If you're a big brand, you want to hit a huge audience. But as a small, medium-sized business owner, depending on the station that you want to hit, does it really make sense? Does it justify the cost of it?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we refer to it as, and we're business people, so we're always talking this way, return on investment, offline activities. So whether you're pushing your message on the radio, you'll hear pizza commercials, you'll hear beer commercials early in the morning. You're not, necessarily wanting a pizza at 8:00, but it is driving in your mind to remember later in the day or in the evening. It's sort of retentive. And then what they're going to do is they're going to really go to digitally to Google for the most part and search out, oh, that's right, we're hungry. What do you want to do? Well, let's order something in. Or we're heading up north. Let's stop by and get a case of whatever. It's all about getting the message out there and getting it to resonating in the mind of the customer. But at the time they're ready to make that purchase, whatever that purchase is, of course, the digital strategy, and here at Local SEO Search, that's what we do, is we help you and your business with your website to earn that coveted spot on page 1 of Google for the clients and customers when they're ready to buy.
And I think the biggest challenge radio has today for advertising is people don't want to get sold, or they don't want to be pushed ads, because there's so many ads out there today, right? And there's so many more options. So myself included, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I download content that I feel that's most valuable to me. I don't want to get pushed ads that are, stuff that I don't want to listen and consume, right? So that's very similar to TV today, because you can watch shows and movies on demand. So people are now more in control. They have different options. And radio, I believe, is having a challenge, a struggle to get more advertisers. I do sometimes hear on the radio, when I do listen to radio, that they're trying to advertise spots to get more advertisers, right? On air. So I know when that happens, they're having a challenge getting advertisers.
And that's probably why Spotify is so popular. You, as the listener, are in control of what you're listening to. And I know I'm the same. We're all probably the same, where you're just tired of listening to commercials. You don't want to be stuff pushed at you. When you're ready to listen or want to see something, you'll go and seek it out. So yeah, radio has its positives, but it has its real challenges. So for local businesses, you want to get your message out there, do it the most cost-effective way that's going to be there when your customers are ready to buy. Local SEO search is your solution.
So give us a call. You can reach us at 416-888-8756. Thank you.
Thank you.